Hey everyone, Dennis K here. It is Monday morning, and I'm just having my what I think is my second or third cup of coffee this morning. So thank you to all of my dear clients who have been taking good care of Steph and I. Really appreciate it. Listen, I had a great conversation yesterday with a couple of potential clients from Canada, and they were talking about different options on Ambergris Key. And one of the questions they had is, how can they beautify their lot that they want to build on North Ambergris Key? And that's a great question because right now, as you guys are looking at different videos and Google Earth shots and maybe some drone footage, you're looking at the areas and you're saying to yourself, man, I like the way the water looks and I like the way the island looks in general, but this lot is just kind of just ugly, right? And you're not wrong in that. I mean, these lots that are in their raw native state are some of the most ugliest properties I've ever seen because they're just in their raw native state. No one's done anything to them. And the truth of the matter is, they're going to get even uglier when you go to build on them. So here's the process that you're going to go through as you buy your property in Belize and as you ultimately end up with this beautiful, lush, tropical, intimate feeling property. It doesn't take a lot of work to get there, but here's the steps. So first of all the lots that we sell are in their raw native state. In other words, they haven't been touched for a couple thousand years. They look the same now as they did 100 years ago, as they did 1,000 years ago. Maybe they've been surveyed. Well, most likely they've been surveyed because if they have title, they've been surveyed. So they've been surveyed, but most likely nothing else has been done to the property. It's just sitting there as is. In some cases, a developer who has come in may have backfilled some properties. So it may even have a 6 inches or a foot of crushed limestone or white mall put on top to help get it build ready. But even then, it doesn't look very nice, guys. It looks like just an ugly uh, lot filled with white mall, to be honest. So why does it look like that? Well, first of all, it's going to have to look like that because your builder, before he starts to build, is going to want to come in, prep the property, which usually means bringing in a couple truckloads of fill or sand or white mall or crushed limestone. So he levels out the entire property. All right. So, for example, if you have a 60-foot by 80-foot wide lot, he's going to come in. The entire area is going to be wiped clean. Okay. So every tree, bush, scrub, even some big, beautiful palm trees might have to be taken and moved if they're right in the middle of the property, because that's where your house is going to go. Okay. So when the builder starts to put your footings in, most likely your lot is going to be scraped clean. Okay. Then he's going to put in the footings, build a house, put in your septic, all that kind of good stuff, create the golf cart parking, create some runoff. So if it rains hard, you don't have a lot of standing water in your property. And then once the house is finished, now comes the beautification part. All right. So now is when you can hire, or if you have the experience yourself, you can do this yourself. But you can go to one of the premier landscapers on the island, take them to your property and say, look, what can you do with this property? What can you do to make it feel intimate and warm and inviting? Right now, it's just scrub clean with a house on it. You probably see a lot of pictures of those, especially around Secret Beach. Why? Because those are brand new homes. They just went in. But now, once a landscape architect comes in, he brings in some palm trees, some fan palms, maybe some different palms from the mainland, some fast growing bougainvillea, maybe creates a water feature, maybe some intimate paths. You see, now, once that starts to grow, within a very, very short period of time, you're going to have yourself a beautiful looking property. And to give you some suggestions, let me show my screen here. I really recommend that you go and look at different resorts that have this more of an intimate feel in a very small footprint. So, for example, if you just go to your Google and type in Ramon's Village, Belize, Ramon's Village is a nice resort just south of San Pedro town, right in the Caribbean Sea, and they have packed in a lot of units on a small property. It's not overly crowded per se, but there are a lot of rooms here to stay at for such a small property. But when you start to walk through to get to the different rooms, to get to the restaurants, you realize how just cozy and intimate it really feels. So, for example, here's one of the paths here leading up to a couple of the rental huts, and you see how lush and tropical it is. You have different types of tropical foliage, flowering plants, palm trees, different things like that. And they've really just done an amazing job. Now, when you get there, do this sort of like walk things off. It's like, you know what? This area, which feels sort of, tiny and cozy. This is just done within about probably 6 to 8 to 10 feet of space. So when you're thinking about your property, you're thinking, I don't really want to be so close to my neighbors, but I understand that on an island, the properties are right next to each other. It's hard to find a large parcel where your neighbors can be at quite a distance away. And so with your neighbors being so close, you want to give some thought as to designing some privacy walls, using plants, using water features to create some quiet areas in your property. And this is really a great way to have that beautiful tropical feel. Now, who you might go to get this done? Well, number one is check out this Facebook page called the San Pedro Yard Guys. These guys have a really good reputation. They've been doing really good work in and around Ambergris Caye. So anything from basic lawn care, maintenance. So for example, here's a lot that's been overgrown. They came in, cut it all, trimmed it all down. They grow plants. They sell herb plants. They do specialty projects, yard cleanup after storms. They even do some solar installation. And so what you see here on the page is, again, like look at this property here. This is a property that's just been scrubbed clean. You see it's all filled with sand. It's got a nice fence. Otherwise, it's just bare. And now they're bringing in these beautiful fan palms. You can see them, they potted them here with some good dirt. And in a very short period of time, these are going to be nice big trees that create shade, create privacy. So yeah, what I like about this company too is they also do pest control. So mosquito fogging, spraying, termite spraying, all that kind of good stuff. Anything you might need once you build your home to really maintain the home itself and maintain the yard and just create these beautiful outdoor spaces for you to enjoy as well. All right, so check those guys out. And also for some ideas, go just type in on your Google search engine, tropical landscaping for small yards, and all sorts of things come up because, really most of these lots that we're selling to you guys, they're suited for a single family home or a home in a casita or a home in a small pool. And, at first when you say, well, once I get my home in there, what area is left to really landscape? You can do so much, even just with 10, 15 feet of area on either side of the home or in the front or the backyard. You can create a lot of special effects using walkways, decks, screened in porches, lanais like they have in Florida. And you can really create a property that looks like this, even though at the beginning, again, you might be dealing with just an ugly lot, but that ugly lot can be transformed into something very, very beautiful. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns about that, want to run the ideas by me on what you might do with your property, go ahead, hit me up on my email below, denniskii@gmail.com, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, have a great day and hope to see you in Belize soon.